I'm going to share with you one of the most frustrating things that we've probably all been through. Have you ever tried using your phone's GPS in an area where there was no signal? Right? I mean, there you are trying to find your way, but instead of directions, all you see is this blue dot floating in a sea of who knows where you are. I mean, you're technically somewhere, but where exactly? And most importantly, how do you get out? How do you get to where you need to go? And that feeling of being in the middle of nowhere, but yet still somewhere, I'm speaking to a certain group right now. That's what your 20s often feel like. And for those that are older than 20, you can relate, right? I mean, you're definitely on life's map, but the roads aren't really clearly marked. And the destinations, they seem a little hazy. I mean, everyone else is, well, at least they appear to be zooming past you with their perfect careers and their relationships and their lives and whatnot. So today I'm going to be talking about something that so many of us face regardless of age, but rarely talk about, at least discuss openly. The quarter life crisis. Yes, it does exist. The overwhelming period when you're supposed to have it all figured out, but instead you're wondering if you took a wrong turn somewhere or if you're even on the right map at all. But here's the thing about getting lost. I want you to listen in. Sometimes it's exactly where you need to be. What? Yes. So let's explore why feeling directionless might actually mean you are on the right track. And then how do we embrace the question marks in our life story? I'm Chad Lawson, and let's calm it down in 3, 2, 1. Do you know what's fascinating about your 20s? No, really, there's some goodness here. It's the first time in your life when there isn't a clear next step. I mean, think about it. Up until now, life has been following a recipe. Elementary school, middle school, high school, maybe college. Like each step was clearly marked with teachers and counselors helping you measure out the ingredients of your future. But then suddenly you're handed this blank canvas and then you're told, go create your masterpiece. No pressure, right? I mean, it's like being asked to cook without a recipe after years of following precise instructions. I mean, no wonder so many of us feel lost. So I want to pause for a minute and I want to show you something. Here, close your eyes if you are in a safe space. Picture yourself standing at a crossroad. There are multiple paths out before you, right? Disappearing into every direction. Now, some paths, they look really worn and safe even, right? Others are wild and uncertain, and some looks like they've never even been walked on. Which one calls to you? Which one makes you hesitate to take that first step? Because it's different for everyone. There is no right answer with this. Now, keeping your eyes closed, notice how your body feels as you are standing there at this crossroads. Is there tension in your shoulders? Is there a knot in your stomach? And that physical response, it's normal. Our bodies, they often carry the weight of uncertainty before our minds even process it. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Once more, deep breath in, deep breath out. Now I want you to open your eyes, and I want you to hear what I'm about to say. That crossroads that you just had in your mind, everyone you admire, everyone you respect, everyone that you look up to, everyone that you think has it all together, has stood there too. Every successful person, they have all had that same uncertainty, that same knot in their stomach. Here's something I wish someone would have told me earlier. This quarter life crisis, it's not a crisis at all. It's an awakening. It's your inner compass that's beginning to recalibrate. That's trying to point you toward your true north. But a lot of times we make this mistake that this natural recalibration, we make this mistake that we're just lost. Think about your smartphone again. When you open a navigation app, what's the first thing it does? It takes a moment to find where your current location is, right? It has to know where you are before it can tell you how to get where you want to go. Well, your 20s are like that moment of location finding. It might feel like there's nothing happening, but this pause, it's really important, because without this pause, we're not going to know accurately where we are. Do you hear that? This pause, when you open that app, it's expected. And this period in time in your 20s, it's the same. So what I'd like to invite you to do is to embrace the power of this pause, to embrace this idea of I don't know. I don't know. And those three words aren't a sign of failure or of loss. They're the beginning of discovery. Because when someone asks about your 5-year plan, it's okay. I'm just exploring my options. That's not indecision. It's wisdom. I don't know. Don't look at those three words in the negative contents. Look at them as an invitation to explore. And then start collecting ideas about yourself. Little data points, if you will, right? Experiences. Because every experience, even the ones that feel like detours, gives you this really important, valuable information. These data points, right? Did you hate that corporate job? Great. That's awesome. You hated it. That's a data point. Did you love it? Also awesome. That's a wonderful data point. Did you love volunteering at the animal shelter? Boom. Another data point. These aren't wrong turns. They're coordinates helping you map where you want to go. And then when we have these data points, we begin to develop our internal navigation system, our GPS. Because society's definition of success is like it's like a pre-programmed route. It might get you somewhere, but is it where you actually want to go? So take some time. Take some time to check in with yourself. What lights you up? What drains you? Because these are signals that your internal GPS sends to guide you. So this week, I want to try something. Let's create a pressure-free zone for 1 hour, like 1 hour each day. I know, and that's a lot to ask, but right now, this is where you're exploring. This is where you are figuring things out. So during this hour, you are not allowed to worry about your career, your relationship status, or your life purpose. I know it's hard because we see it everywhere. But block 1 hour where you're not going to concern yourself about your career, your relationship status, or your life purpose. Instead, I want you to use this time to do something that simply feels good. Something that connects you to who you are rather than who you think you should be. I'm going to say that again. Use this time to do something that simply feels good, something that connects you to who you are rather than who you think you should be. Maybe that's drawing, even if you're not an artist, quote unquote. Maybe it's writing terrible poetry, or just maybe it's taking a dance class. But the point is not to be good at it. The point is to remember what it feels like to do something without the pressure of achievement. What would that be for you? Seriously, what would that be? Because here's the thing. You're not behind. You're not lost. You're exactly where you need to be to become who you're meant to be. You are exactly where you need to be to become who you're meant to be. I didn't know that might sound like something you would find on a coffee mug, and I swear I didn't read it off a coffee mug, but I mean it with all of my heart. I mean, the very fact that you are questioning your path means that you are conscious enough, you are aware enough to care about where you're going. I mean, think about caterpillars, right? Butterflies. We all love butterflies, but think about the caterpillar and its chrysalis. I mean, if you could somehow interview it halfway through its transformation, hello, so-and-so caterpillar, may I ask you a few questions? It would probably be having this like existential crisis, right? Everything is just, I don't know what I'm becoming. All of these other caterpillars, they're still doing caterpillar things, but I'm not a butterfly and I'm not a cat. What am I? And you can't become a butterfly without going through the chrysalis. Your 20s are your chrysalis. And that stage, it might be, well, there's no might. That stage is uncomfortable, but it's where the magic happens. So give yourself some permission to be in that caterpillar in between butterfly stage for a little bit. Trust that you're right where you need to be. I want to end with this. I want you to remember something. GPS systems, your phone, Google, Apple, Waze, whatever you use, they recalculate all the time. Did you hear that? They recalculate all the time. If the most sophisticated navigation technology needs to readjust its route, why shouldn't you? Your path does not have to be a straight line. Sometimes the most beautiful drives involve a few U-turns, some scenic detours, and yes, even those moments when you feel completely lost. You're not just surviving your quarter-life crisis. You're exploring where you'll go. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for living. And until next time, be kind to your mind and join me again as we calm it down. To find more episodes of Calm It Down, see where I may be appearing in your area, or just simply want to know where to send me some chocolate chip cookies, visit calmitdownpodcast.com. This podcast was written and produced by yours truly, Chad Lawson, composer, pianist, and nationally recognized sweet tooth. The views, expressions, and techniques in this episode are of my personal opinion and not intended, nor should they, serve as a substitute for medical advice or diagnosis rendered to you by your individual doctor or other healthcare provider. Only a licensed physician should evaluate your situation, provide a diagnosis, or render other medical advice to you, and you should only act upon the advice of this physician. Now, I'm an extreme empath by nature, but my profession is that of a composer and pianist, not a licensed therapist or physician. I hear from thousands of listeners how my music has helped them through various stages of emotional needs, and I simply want to offer this in future podcast episodes to aid those needs. So to find a list of licensed professionals in your area, please visit calmitdownpodcast.com. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review, or better yet, share it with a friend. While it takes less than 60 seconds to do, its impact will last for years to come, as every little bit helps in growing the awareness and the importance of mental and emotional health. Thank you for listening. Thank you for living. And until next time, be kind to your mind and join me again as we calm it down.